Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to our regular weekly outlook. Sorry, last week I couldn't do one. Time was a real problem. Hopefully next week I could do one again, right? Yep, it will be uploaded in YouTube. No need to worry about that. Let's go. So I think everybody can see my screen here. Just make sure I'm on the right screen. You can see this Aussie dollar screen. Somebody give me yes. Okay, thank you. Let's go. So today I'll be running through very fast the majors, all the majors, and then we will, if we have time, because time is consuming and I don't want to make the webinar too long, we'll run through some of the charts that I think are of big interest in next week's session where we can have some very nice moves, right? So dollar index, as usual, I'll show you the long-term view and then I'll show you the short-term view. Long-term view, we are going up. You guys have been following this, tracking it with us for a while. Long-term view, we're looking upside. We are within this consolidation. There is a very strong probability that this consolidation is over, and we're going to break the top because they're going very fast, right? And there's a very, very strong possibility they are going to break that up. And if it breaks that up, it puts dollar into an impulse, makes this move an impulsive move to the upside. So if they break this top, there's a big move coming in the dollar, at least about this level. That is a 106 level, right? Maybe higher, but at least at that level, there's a thing. In this move, in the shorter term, and this move going up here, we will eventually get a pullback. You know, they never move in straight lines, right? So we're anticipating a pullback in this move here coming. This one going, watch it as it comes to the top. As it comes to the top here, we can see that we will get a deeper pullback before it goes, which means something like a 1, 2, 3 wave structure they had here, and then up it goes. So we'll be looking for this and see if it happens. Go to the euro. Euro is in this daily structure, and structure like these you have to be careful. Remember what we were looking for in the euro was an A, B, C structure, breaking the top of the A and then coming down. We didn't get that. So now we still have a 3-wave structure. The problem with this now is that what is this structure doing? Where will this structure go to? If any one of you here are wave traders, or you understand, even if you studied Elliott wave and you know anything about pattern, this pattern could develop 2 ways. It could be 1, 2, 3, and this goes down. Or it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, go back for a 5, and then they come down. Right? We're still looking for a downside because the impulse is to the downside, right? This is just a big corrective structure here, right? The impulse so far is still to the downside. So this is just like a big corrective structure. Comes here, probably go back there, one more down, and then the big move to the upside could start. So we were anticipating one more down. Big question. We don't know how many legs is going to be in this triangular pattern here. Is it 3 or is it 5? And you will never know that. No one could ever forecast that because you don't know it. It could be 3, it could be 5. And if it's 3, you have those regular flats where it doesn't go above. If it is 5, it's going to break. It's going to go back up for one more. But you don't need to know it. That's the problem. You just have to follow this. That's the good thing about it, not the problem. You just have to follow this to the downside. And if it bounces, we wait for a buy setup. If it breaks, you keep selling as it goes, right? So let's go 4 hour. You got your impulse, you got your pattern. This actually break to the downside, nice corrective structure. We looked at this yesterday during the news event when the fundamentals come in and everybody went crazy and they bought. Remember that? Well, actually, it wasn't a good buy. Turns out you're still in a corrective structure and you're dropping. This was a very small trade here. That was a 15-minute trade if you're looking for it. Not the best trade, see? I don't think you should buy it, sell it. That's not the best sell. If you want to sell this now, what you have to do is wait for a pullback. Wait for a flag. If I'll be posting this, I'll say wait for a flag. Let it go now and wait for a flag. When it gives you the flag, you will have your next trade to the bottom here. This would be the next trade. So we will wait for this to make a move up, a corrective structure, something that we can trade. And then you would look. So I'm hoping that next week, the first couple days next week, you'll probably have something like this. We're going down, so I'll look for a downtrend to find out what you'll be looking for. Look at this big move here. You see that big move when they leave this structure here? Next week, you're looking for a structure like this. And if you get a structure like that, that's a sell setup. If you get one like this, that's a sell setup. You get one like this, that's a sell setup. You get one like this, a sell setup. You get one like this, a sell. So we will have a number of trades going down. So next week, all you have to do is wait for this to first pull back, and it will. This was your first one. That's not a good one. Wait for this to pull back, and then sell it. Right? So we'll be selling it all the way to the low. So we'll be looking for euro. The next week, don't try to jump into a sell now, because for the next 3-4 days next week, we'll probably be going upwards. They'll make a corrective move to the upside. If there is a small corrective move, we don't buy into it. If we see a big corrective structure, we probably have a buy or two in it, and then we look for the sell setup. Pong. We also looked at this. We were analyzing this today also, and as you can see, the possibility is we think they're going to break this structure, but it's not a sell setup. Not all structure that breaks or sell setup. Warning. I know somebody wrote me a very long message and said, well, you have to stop criticizing other traders because it makes you, as the guy put it, his exact word quote, it makes you look like a madman. Well, I told him, you have an option, don't come to my webinar. It's that easy, right? But I still will warn you, because there are people who are promoting themselves as wave traders who really don't have the clue of what wave analysis is. They just put the lines and they said sell because it break or buy because it break, and that is not what wave analysis is about. It's not about these lines. We're not trading the lines, guys. Let me get this clear to you. We are not trading the lines. We are trading the structure. If you just follow the lines, you're going to lose your account, and here is why. There is a high probability that when they break this line here, they will come to this low. Yes, last week I warned you of one. I should have kept that one. They will break this low, and if you're in that trade, they're going to reverse this back to the top here. So the trade you would actually would be a buy setup, not a sell setup. So it's not about this line that I put there. It's about what structure are you looking at. And there's a good possibility that this here is just an A, B, C correction, comes back to this low, and then goes up back for the next impulse. But traders who think that I'm just putting lines because they're looking at my lines that I put that work, but I put the lines when they're working. I actually put this one to show my traders today why they shouldn't sell here and why this is incorrect. Why this line is incorrect. That is what I was showing them. We don't sell the break of a line. It's not about the line. You see the lines in my chart, but that is after I've already done the analysis on the patterns, when I realize that this is a pattern. So when they break out of this pattern, you want to be in the trade. It's not about the line. Get that very clear. Don't just take people who write themselves, call themselves, name themselves, wave in front of whatever they're going to call a themselves trader as guaranteed that they're giving you the right analysis. Right? Make sure you understand that. It's not about putting a whole lot of lines in your chart that looks like mine and think you got it correct. It's not that easy. You can speak to my traders who are doing the course now. They can tell you it's not easy. So what we're looking for is what this pattern is doing. And it's not clear, but I can give you a number of very simple options. One I can tell you for sure is that there's an up move to break this stop. That will happen. This will happen. That's 90% guaranteed to happen. When this correction to the downside is over. So how do we know that that correction to the downside is over? Well, you have to wait for complete patterns to happen. This was what we thought was a breakout of the complete pattern to go. Well, that did not happen. So it did go. It was a good buy. We took good profit out of that. We looked at it. We said, okay, you got to exit it. They're coming down back. Watch this line here. One of my traders actually asked the question, should we buy here? I said, no, don't buy here. Wait for them. They'll probably break this low. So two options. They will break that low or they will break this low. I don't think they'll break this low. We want them to break this low and then reverse, and then we'll be in this buy to the upside. Now, that is not the buy that I'm telling you that will go, because when they break this top, they're coming back to the low. They're coming back to break this low. And then this is the big trade you'll be looking for. See, it's not about the one line. It's about what pattern. When I do all of that, what I'm actually telling you is that I'm looking for a number of patterns that will develop into this chart. And based on those patterns, Based on those patterns, we're going to get an impulse up, an impulse down, or a trade or no trade. So we are not interested in the down trade here as yet. I'm interested in let them break this to the upside when they already break the pattern here first. What if they're going to break this low? That makes it better for me. If this comes and break this low, we are going to get the big trade to the upside. So that makes a much better trade for me. I don't think that is what they're going to do. So this one we have nothing to do with, and I think next week we'll have nothing to do with it. Just leave it alone for a while, right? It's still in what we call, it's in consolidation. It is making the corrective structure. We don't trade very much into the corrective structure. We trade when we see an impulse coming. So we traded because we thought this was an impulse coming here. This is why I posed this chart. I said, okay, we got a 1, 2, 3 corrective structure here, 1, 2, 3. This is an impulse going. Well, they didn't take off, and that's okay. They just made a much more complex structure. This is a simple structure, 1, 2, 3. Right? That didn't happen. We didn't break the top. So that means we were actually looking for a more complex structure. Okay, I didn't lose money in that trade. That's a good thing, right? So let's wait. We are still going to get that big wave. It is still going to happen, although they're making it more complex. Aussie. I think this is not the best trade. I keep saying, don't worry that it's going. That is not the best trade. Here's what they do. They make a big move. They pull back. If you jumped into this little trade here, see that little one there? If you jump into that little, this is what they do. They reverse the new and you got stopped out. Don't jump into this little one. Wait for them to pull back, and they will pull back. They will pull back here. 90% of the time, I should say 95% of the time, they pull back. Wait for that pullback, and then you will get a better risk to reward trade here. If they go from here, so be it. Let they go. That's the 1 in 10 or 1 in 5 time when you're not in a trade. Right? What is Aussie doing on the daily? We've been talking about this for a while, and I keep telling you, don't sell the tops and bottoms, especially if you don't know what you think the structure is doing. Just because it make a top, it's not going to go down back. If you analyze this, we are still pretty much in the corrective structure. This is the sharpest impulse we have, and this move is a corrective structure going. That is why we've been selling when we get to the top. We sold that top. We sold here when we thought they're going to break. We were waiting for a break here that we didn't get. We sold this top, and we sold this top, and we sold that top, right? This one, some of my traders are in that sell, some of them not. So those are the three trades, and that sell would have come from this top here or from this top at the top here, very top there, right? Those are the 3 places you could sell. We sold this one from here, and we sold it from here, right? So same thing we were waiting for. Those of us who are not in the trade, wait for this here. You'll get a sell here. I don't think this is the one that is going to go, like I showed in the 4-hour that I posted, right, in the daily. We will break this top. 90% of the time, they break this top before they go. And that is understanding what structure I'm looking for. I'm looking for this structure here. When it comes here, it will go back up. This is not the structure. That's one part of the structure. It's coming fast. It's looking like it's going to run away from you. You want to be in the trade. You're going to click sell, and then you watch it does this. You got taken out for a big loss, and you missed this trade here. Because somehow you think that if there's a top here, you can sell and just keep it. It's not doesn't work like that. Now we're going to expect this to pull back, and when it pull back, we'll look for this. What if it doesn't pull back? Let's assume I'm wrong with my analysis. I'm not in the trade, and let's assume my analysis is wrong, and it comes and it breaks the structure here. Well, I'm pretty happy about being wrong in that case, because any pullback here now would be the big trade to the downside that I'm looking for. That is this big trade here. So I'll be one happy person, but I'll be looking to sell it from the top here again. I'll look for this small sell. We would probably look for a buy setup. I'm not sure we will get the buy, but if we get it, we'll take it. And then we'll be looking for the sell again, right? So there is a big move in here to come. Once they break this low, that is where we'll be watching to see what structure they're making here. Now, this is a simple 3-wave structure. 1, 2, 3. Structures can be complex. So when they break out of that pattern, they don't necessarily have to go down all the way here, but we will always look for that move. They can do this, and then they can come back like this, and then they can do this, and then come back like this and do this, and then go up. See? This is not exactly how they will move, but we will be looking for that downside. So When I put an arrow, it doesn't mean they have to follow my arrow. I'm giving you a sense of direction of how it could go. It could come very slow. It could come very fast. If you're in the trade, you care less how it goes. Because you're in profit, you move it to break even, let it go. That's it. Aussie may be changing structure to the upside. We can't say that for sure as yet, but we'll wait to see how this develops, how this entire piece here develops. And then that will give us a sense. If they come here and they stop and they start to go back up, we were going up for one big impulse, right? If for some reason we think that this is the correction and they're going down, we will be trading. We will stay with that trade all the way to the downside. That depends on how the structure is going to develop further, right? So for next week, look for the short trade down, your trades for next week. Not this one, wait for a pullback, look for a sell, and look for this buy. I'll post this buy out if I see it. And then if that buy is going to materialize, I'll post it out as a heads up on this right here. I'll post the update, right? And we should get that trade. New Zealand, we posted this last week and it worked very, very, very much how we thought it's going to work. Let me see if I can get it. I think I posted the entire structure, not this one. I think from the top here, we sold the first one and then we sell the second one. And I think this was where we posted the development of the structure to the downside and then up. Yep, downside and then up, and then the magic work, right? Came down and go back up, right? So what is it doing right now? There's a reason why we know it's going to turn from there and the likelihood of it going back up. We're looking for a 5-wave structure. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 3, we have 4, and we're looking for this to come here. So there is a good chance we're going to get this trade next week, right? So watch for this trade if it happens. If that happened, that would be an amazing trade. If they break this structure to the downside, that is the only thing that changes. So I think for next week, we'll probably see 1, 2, 3 here, smaller trades within the structure, and then the breakout, right? I don't think it's going to go immediately. So we'll watch for some correction in here. Aussie likes to make nice correction like those. Once we get a correction here, we'll be looking for the next trade up. Breaking this top is what we're looking for. Once they break that top, we'll be looking for a very, very big trade to the downside. We'll be looking for that trade to come down, right? So there is a big trade to the downside coming in the Aussie, and that could give you quite a lot of pips if this structure proves to do what we think it's doing, right? The upside, we will definitely buy, and then we'll see how far that goes. I don't think it's going to go very far, but we'll see. So we'll wait for this consolidation, and then we'll be looking for a buy setup on New Zealand next week. Sorry, New Zealand, right? Swiss. Okay, I probably said this last week, and you probably know we're watching for the Swiss to break this top. There's possibly some more up. I don't know how much more up, but we did not take the buy for a simple reason. There's a top there. Once they break that top, they could turn. I don't think they're going to turn right now. Big picture, once this go up, it could go up some more. There's a good chance we're going to have one of these trades coming down to retest the low, right? So put it in the 4-hour and look for this. We can get a buy setup next week. I think we will get a buy setup if they pull back. So next week, this will probably pull back like this, right? Give us a corrective structure. I don't know how far, maybe a smaller corrective structure, and we would look for a trade up. Pull back, they could get another trade up. Pull back, they could get another trade up. This could go up for quite a while before the downside starts, right? So as long as it's going up, we will trade it to the upside. The upside could go as far as this top. So as you see, there's a big trade there. They could go as far as that top before they turn, which means we will be looking for buy, right? So watch this to the upside. Next week, we're looking for up trades on this. If it starts to turn early, I will post it. If I don't see a turn coming, I'll just wait for trades to the upside, right? We'll just post trades to the upside. US CAD, everybody don't jump into this trade because nothing says this thing is not going to turn to the downside very, very soon, right? Very soon you could get this trade turning anywhere here to the downside. Now, I think there's some more upside. We just broke the top, so that is good news. We have more divergence. That is even better news, right? If you want to trade this to the upside, wait for a pullback. Wait for this pullback here, and then trade it. If you want to trade it to the downside, wait for an impulse, wait for an impulse, wait for a correction, and then sell it. So either way, you don't have a trade here today. You probably don't have a trade next week. Some traders would say, let's sell it to the top there. And I've seen traders done that, right? And they would put it and said, sell, it's coming down here. Go ahead, try your luck. Because you would be surprised that you sell right here. You probably put a 50 pip stop. It does like this, take you out. You sell again, you put a 50 pip stop, it goes, take you out. You sell again, put a 50 pip stop, goes, take you out. And just when you decide you've had enough of this selling, you stop selling, it's going to go down, right? Just exactly where you thought, okay, that's it. We're in an uptrend, time to buy. You're going to watch it turn and start to go down very nicely. Just as you become a buyer, right? You become a bull now. You're biased to the upside. That's exactly when it will turn. This structure will go down. There is no question of if. It's a question of when, right? This structure will make a very big trade to the downside. The only question is when, and that is why we've been trying to get sells. All the sells we can get from the top here, we took. We took 3 attempts and we made profit in 3 very, very good trades. A lot of you here made a lot of profit in those 3 trades. Selling this top, and selling here. It's not the top we were selling. We were selling smaller corrective structures. Right? All of you saw I was posting, sell the breakout in this small structure. We will repeat the same thing at the top here. If we start to see structures that are showing sell signs in 15 minutes and 1 hour, we will sell every single one of them. Because there is no telling when you get a candle that does this. And then you start to trade. You think those candles can't happen? Look at these. Look at this candle in here. And that is corrective structure. Look at this candle here. Look at these 2 candles, or 3 candles there. There is no telling if you don't sell the top when that is going to happen. And that would likely happen. So we will be trying to sell structures from the top on lower time frames. And one of them will go. So I'm not so keen on the buy. That is why I wasn't even interested in this very much. I don't know if this is the turn, but if that is the turn, we'll be in it. Not from here. It has to show us a structure before we get in. Be conservative with your trading. Don't rush into the trading. You'll eventually get it. So the yen broke out, it's coming back. Wait, don't do anything with this. You see they broke the structure, they're coming back, they're making a more complex structure. Just stay out of the yen for now. There is a strong probability that it's not going to retest the top, and we may come back all the way down to retest this low. That is this trade here. We just don't have enough reasons to sell it as yet because of this here. See this one. This is not giving us enough reasons to sell. This is telling us upside structure. So we will wait for this confirmation here. That was our sell. When we get a structure like that, we'd look for a sell. So right now, it's looking downside, but we don't have a selling structure. So we'll wait for this. If you short it, if you took that trade there, you got to be careful when you come to this low. I think you probably move it to break even. Well, if you jump in the trade too early, you must have a stop somewhere. Okay, great. But that's an early short. That is you do too many of those, you'll start panic very soon. Euro Oz, we may be getting a turn soon. Remember we said they either have to break this low. Where is the low on the daily? They either had to break that low or they had to go back up to retest this top. Well, they decide they're going to break the low, which is easier for us. So once they break that low, that tells us they've completed a structure. So this structure is definitely not downside. That is not a downside structure. That's a structure that should go back up some more. So exactly when, I don't know. I'm not trading this right now. Waiting for an impulsive move to start, and when it does, we'll get in the trade. So right now, these moves are difficult to get in because they're making a lot of spikes, and on a lower time frame, you don't get the entry. They just move away. Well, we'll talk about that later, Cody. Let's go. Euro in New Zealand. There's a nice short trade setup here. We're waiting for this Euro New Zealand to make one more downside retesting. I think last week I told you guys, this may not be the impulsive wave that goes up. We're looking for that big move to the upside. So we're anticipating one more move down, retest the 786, maybe the 886, and then we're looking for this to go up. And that will go up. So let's look at this structure. Weekly, this is the structure we're looking at, right? And there's a very good chance that this is one move up. This is a corrective structure coming down here, and you'll get one more move up. This is a very big move. Keep your eyes focused on that. Remember, New Zealand has a very big move to the downside, right? When it finishes that one. And they're finishing the upside. Euro New Zealand is finishing the downside. Take this out. Euro New Zealand is finishing this downside here. I think we can see them come to about the 886 somewhere here. We have it in the daily, do we? I think we have it in the daily, yep. We're looking for them to come some more. You may get a very nice trade, actually. If they make a corrective structure here, you could get a nice trade down to the 786, maybe even all the way to the 886. Euro is going down. New Zealand is going up right now, right? Let me just show you those very fast again. Euro downside, New Zealand upside. See that? So you want Euro New Zealand. The Euro is going down. New Zealand is going up. That will send this coming down very fast all the way to here. What you want is a corrective structure up. So we want this to first go up. Go up some more, make a bigger corrective structure here. Make something like this. And then we'll take that trade down. This would be an amazing trade down. And then the bigger trade to the upside would be very amazing. So this trade next week, pay attention to it for an entry here. It will go. We'll look for an entry and then we'll probably post if I see a flag or anything like that. Euro yen. Stay out of this. Stay out of it. It's coming down there, very short-term trades, but once it gets here, you have to wait, right? So we were not going to look at that very much. EuroCAD is one that I posted. So we took the trade. We got some very nice pips. It break. We are out of the trade. We are out of the trade a little way back because we got out a little too early as well. So what is this trade doing? Right now, they're consolidating here. That is good news for us. I want them to consolidate here. I would like to see them consolidate some more. You see, they made a very nice big structure here. They're probably doing the same here. I want to see some more consolidation in here, and then we have this trade. We have this trade in play. That's a big trade to come, right? That is a very big trade to come, and that trade is based on the weekly structure. So that you guys could see. You're getting a little more information than you should, but that is okay. Watch this weekly structure. This is the next trade. This is the next big trade we're looking for. And at that point, two things will happen. This will break to the downside, or we will have one more impulse to the upside. We are not expecting this to happen. The reason I don't have it in my chart is because we are not expecting it. We are expecting this thing is going to break to the downside. So keep focused on this trade here. Let me show you that. Let me just give you guys a little extras why we think that is going to happen. Look backwards here. See this big triangle pattern? Sell, right? You got an impulse. You're getting a 1, 2, 3 flat here. Once you break this structure here, you're looking for this trade. And it will happen. See? You got a nice consolidation here. You had a nice consolidation there. Daily. If we get a consolidation here, that would confirm the sell opportunity. We don't have it there as yet. So let's see. Right? Let's wait some more. I want them to consolidate there. I don't think they're going up back, right? I don't think this is going up back. It could, but I don't think it's going up back. Not interested in the buy. Let's see a nice pattern there, and then we'll sell. Okay, we'll skip some of those because there are too much of them. I want to show you the pound New Zealand. There's a good opportunity. I post this one here. It's not going very aggressive. So I think you probably wait for a flag. We wait for a nice structure there or there for a 1 hour flag or something. It's too early to say that's a flag. They'll probably come back and do this. And if they do something like this, we'll get a trade to the upside, right? This trade will go too because it's structurally set to go, right? This one is set to go. Remember, Euro New Zealand is looking downside, right? New Zealand is looking upside. So why would this go up? If Euro New Zealand is going to go down, that is because Euro is going down, right? So what would trigger this trade to the upside? Well, it's because I'm looking at the pound to go up. I'm looking at the dollar, pound dollar to make that trade. They may come down some more, not very aggressive, because the pound dollar is the one that will pull this to the upside. That means you want to look at the euro pound. See that? You want to look at this euro pound, because if pound is going to go up and the euro is coming down, this will come down. We may even break this trend line, right? So I'm still in this sell. We took the sell way back and I'm still in it. We took the sell somewhere in here and I'm still in it. And I'll probably keep it for a very long time, right? I'll probably keep this for a very long time because potentially this trade has a big move to the downside. See, potentially we will break that structure for a bigger corrective structure. If that happens, you want to be in the trade. So once they come to this trend line, I'll decide if they're breaking, if I'm keeping the trade, or if I'll move my stop and be taken out, right? But I think when they come here, we'll see. There's a possibility that this is not the one that goes. You get one more up. This would be a good buy for us, right? If we see that, we'll take the buy. If this is the one that breaks through, then okay, I'm still in the trade. If it doesn't break through, I'll get out of the trade. Now you don't have a setup to sell or buy. There isn't anything there to do right now. On the 1 hour, we can look for this trade next week. A sell here, but you want this to go back up somewhere. And if it does this, we'll have a nice sell next week, right? So this will probably take a day or two, and then we'll look for a sell setup. So that is a potential sell setup on this one. And remember, if pound goes up and euro comes down, this will give you a very good trade. What else to show you guys? Let's do gold and silver, and then we'll take some questions, right? By the way, my forecast on gold and silver has changed. And there's a very good reason. We think gold will retest this low. And that is thanks to the guys who are actually doing their training sessions right now. Because I was doing a training session with one of them who had the gold chart for a year, and then we looked at the entire gold chart and the gold silver chart, and we said, wait a second. We just saw a structure we weren't paying attention to. And that means we think this has a likely possibility of breaking this low. So starting from, if that is going to materialize and they come down low here, I'll be putting a dozen entry orders in here to buy, right? Once they break that low, they're going to reverse. So we were looking at this trade here as the first impulse to the upside. Right? Remember, all of you are telling you that's a 5-wave structure, and they need to come and break that structure here. Right? That is something we've been saying for a long while. They will break that structure before they go back up. But once we relook at the structure, this may not be the first impulse up. This may be the last impulse in a bigger corrective structure. Right? This could be the last impulse in a bigger corrective structure that will go down. Because if you look at the monthly chart, I think the monthly chart and the yearly chart shows it very clearly. We could be looking at this structure here. One, two, three, 4, 5. And then you start the upside. This would not be the one that goes up very far because they're going to probably come back to retest this low before they go, right? Gold is not going to go up, or silver is not going to go up so fast, but potentially we could have some very nice trades still to the upside, right? So bring this back. Next week, we're looking for a sell setup. Silver, there's a buy here. There's a small buy setup to come in here. And this would give us a 1, 2, 3 wave for downside, right? We're looking for that 3-wave structure for downside like this one here. 1, 2, 3. This was a sell setup, right? Remember, we're looking 1, 2, 3 sell setup. So we're looking for a smaller 1, 2, 3 here. This is your 1. This is going to come back slightly here. Don't look for the sell there. And then we're looking for this to come here. And then we'll be looking for a sell setup. So we'll be selling this next week. We'll be looking for a sell setup next week. A short buy-in. It's some of my traders are going for the buy. I'll see if I want to do it personally, but there's a short buy here when they break this structure. And then we'll be looking for the sell setup. If you're already in the buy and the breakout of this, some of my traders took it. They took the break even, which is okay. If you took this buy and you took a break even trade, you're doing well. If you're still in the trade, you want to move it to break even because this will come back lower and then go. If you want to keep the trade, you have to have a stop here, which means once they break that low, you're no longer in a buy. All right. Gold, very similar structure. I also posted this, watch for that up move. We were thinking that this could be the start of a bigger up move. And then it started to correct, right? It's doing a corrective structure. It's not making gold. Could also go back down, put it in the weekly, monthly probably. Potentially, we're looking at the same thing here. We're looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure before they go back up, right? That's not a motive wave, by the way. That's a corrective structure. It's a corrective 5 wave structure. So something like this, right? They got a big one here. They got a big one. This is an ABC structure in the making. An A, a B, and a C wave. So this could definitely be going down more. If you pull this line, then you'll probably see. We had a very big corrective structure in here. And we're getting a sharp corrective structure here. So what you're going to watch this gold for here now is in this piece. It's going up, right? We still have the up buy active. So we'll watch it if it does this, and then we'll look for a sell. If they break through very sharp, you can stay with the buy, right? If they break through very sharp. I think you got to be careful. If you're in the buy, you can keep the gold buy. The gold is slightly different from what silver is doing. I'll show you guys one more chart why I think, both of these could go down, as well as gold is looking more downside even than silver. Gold will be much weaker than silver, right? So I'll show you that chart why. Watch this trader. You're still in the uptrend. This is still valid up. I think they will come up more. Maybe we'll see them come up tilt about this level here. It could crawl up to about that level and then the downside. If it's crawling up, we're selling. If it goes very fast, you stay with the buy, right? It's simple. And here is the last chart I want to show you guys. That is gold silver chart. There's an amazing sell setup pattern here. I think all of you recognize this immediately. That's a sell setup here. So gold is weaker, is going to be weaker than silver, which means gold will fall much more than silver will fall, right? This whole structure is a corrective structure. If you look at it, you want to see something like this. Anybody seen a structure like this in the chart that falls very hard? I can show you a couple if you want, right? So keep your eyes on that structure. Once you see this, we broke the trend line. See that uptrend line there? That is broken. They made a small flag here. Well, not a small one, a Burundi default, and they're making a corrective structure in relationship to this. So when they finish this move down here, I think there's one more move up. There's one more move up to that level. Bring this down here, and then look for the fall. But what if you're in this cell and this is the one that actually falls through the bottom, right? What if you're in that cell and that is the one that falls through the bottom? Remember I said silver has one more downside? Well, gold has a bigger downside, right? So watch this trade here. Watch the gold and silver trade. It's going to be interesting. So just keep your eyes, keep your focus on the charts, and you will learn the stuff. It's easy, right? So watch this. Actually, if you can sell this, I'm not sure whether if you're in a wonder, or if you're in an FXCM, and if you can sell this, this is a good sell actually. Rather than selling the gold or the silver, sell this because this has more guarantee of going down, right? This is pretty well set structure, right? When you see those structure, every time I see something like that, I take the trade. Every time you see that and you see a breakthrough, you take the trade. This is, 90%, 95% of those trades work well. A few of them don't go, but they work well. The 700, I have no idea. I don't like to guess. I'm not in the guessing business, guys. If any one of you have been following me for a while, I'm not in the guessing business, and I really hate people who write all those long essays as to why they think gold will do this and silver will do this, and this person is going to say that and that person is going to say that, and then they look at 3 indicators and they look at 4 more other things, and then they come up with an essay under the chart explaining. I really don't follow that nonsense. Right? Because you don't have enough information to make those conclusions. You're guessing. You're making them out of a pure guess. What I do is I follow the structure. And somebody asked me a question, well, why do you think these structures will ever work? Well, it's simple. Because whatever is happening in the market, whatever is happening, whatever the real price is happening, it's in the chart. Now, what really creates these patterns is an accumulation of everything that is happening in the market, right? So if there is a speculation that is going on, if there is a big news coming, all the big players who knows about this event, who are aware, who are the players in the market, who are the people who actually trade these, the biggest banks in the world, right? They know of these information and they start behaving a certain way. They start to trade a certain way. They start to either get out of gold or buy more gold or sell more gold, or they're doing something. Whatever they're doing is what we are seeing in the charts. They don't have to tell us if they're buying or selling. You look in the charts, you look at a pattern that is created in the chart, and that is telling you what they're likely doing. So when I see a pattern like this, when I see, sorry, lost my cursor, give me a second, let me get it back. Yep, got it back. When I see a pattern like this in the chart, what they're telling me, what I'm learning from what the movers of the market, the people who are actually the movers of the market are doing, is that they will drop it. That's what they're telling me. Their actions, their trading actions that they're doing right now, and this is a reflection of their trading action. Whether that trading action that they're making is based on a news event that they have inside that I don't know of, or based on something that they would like to do because they think gold is going to get cheaper, or because it could be because of anything, or the guy just wake up on the wrong foot that morning and he said, let's just start sell this down gold. I'm tired of it. Let's start selling. Whatever is his reason for doing that, he will do something in the market. He will put an order in the market. He will either start accumulating gold or he will start to try to sell gold. That is what I see reflected in the structure. His actions are reflected in the structure. And if you read it correctly and you follow it correctly, you have a 90% accuracy rate of knowing the direction he's going to go, getting the direction correct. Every now and then you may get it wrong because you look at a structure, you thought that was the structure, and then it changed, right? But that is okay. That is part of trading. You're not 100% accurate of knowing exactly what each structure, is going to do. We know what they do basically 90% of the time. We know how these structures behave very often. Most of the time when they don't behave the way we expect them to behave, we're not in the trade. If I expect to sell here and this thing go up, I'm not in the trade. I'm not worried about that. So if I expect to sell in the break here, but it doesn't break, it just do this. That's okay. If I post sell the break and it doesn't break, you're not supposed to be in the trade. I'm not in the trade. You're not supposed to be in the trade. The only people who will be commenting on the charts will be the trollers who say, oh, well, you said sell and it went up. Well, good for you if you have nothing else to do. They will be the only people there, right? So when we said wait for a break, you must have a strategy to trade the breakout, what you're waiting for. And this would be an amazing trade. So keep track of it. You'll get some very nice trades, right? I'll post this chart. I never posted it. Somebody actually, one of my traders did this chart. He's doing the practicals now, and I think it's she, if I'm not sure, right? I may be wrong here. I think she's doing this now, and she actually, I think I will think it's a she. Let me just don't guess who is it. If she's in here, she'll tell me. I think one of our traders is using this chart, and I said, why you use this chart? Let's go look at it. Yulia, right? Okay, good. Jagdeep just tell me Yulia. I think it was Yulia. That's why I didn't. She's, and I'm like, this is a difficult chart, right? Then I looked at this. Hey, this chart is amazing, right? This thing is amazing. This structure is perfect. It worked really good, and they're very nice trade setups. It gives you an indication of what gold will do. So really good. I like it. The wave analysis, you can imagine a trader just 6 weeks learning Elliott wave structure with us, and she can prepare this chart like this. 6 weeks, and she can do this. Amazing, right? She's been trading for 2 years, and she couldn't do this before. This is her chart. This is not my chart. I'm just showing you a copy of her chart today. I never showed you guys this before. I never even looked at it myself, right? So keep track of this. Watch it. 2 minutes. Somebody asked about the training course. So I'll give you 2 minutes in it, and then I'll go. We'll take some questions if anything. Somebody's asking. Let me see. Signing up for the classes. Okay, somebody asked. It's very simple, so that we don't waste time here. You can write this down. You can share it. You can give it to your friends if they want to join. Let me just type it. MANGAL 457. That's my Skype ID. Write that down. Send me a message on Skype. Add me to Skype. Say you're interested in the course, and I'll give you all the details there. And everything we'll do in there, so we don't waste time in the webinar talking about it. Everything you want to know about it will be there. Right? Let's go. We have a next course starting on the 31st of October. That's if you really want to join that course, you really have to hurry, right? There is still space because I haven't been advertising that one so much. I haven't been asking people to join it very much too. So if you're interested, 31st of October, we already have a set of people in, but I think we can take a few more people too. There's an inverse correlation between US CAD and Aussie USD. No, there isn't. There isn't any correlation in the market. I'll do it. Maybe next week I'll talk about just correlation if you guys want. I'll do a webinar on correlation because there is no correlation in the market. That's a myth. If you actually follow that thing, you will not trade well. What else? More questions? Okay, thank you for the greetings. Somebody's greeting from Switzerland. Do you use MACD for any? What if the wave or if MACD is? That's something we talk about in our trading room. What else? Is there a rule you use for counting swings? Yes, we have a lot of rules. We teach you that in the trading room too. I hope you do. An oil. Did we miss oil? We can take a look at the oil very fast for you if you want. Let's see. Oil. I'm looking for a downtrend. I'm looking for one more down move to this level. We will wait for confirmation. We don't have confirmation. We're waiting for confirmation that it could happen. That is our possibility. We're looking for that trade down next week. What is the best ratio account capital position considering the Forex 100% leverage? That's something I did a webinar on. Go and check in my YouTube videos. I think I have a class. We did a webinar on that. Is it going to restart the 94, or this is the impulse up that waited for so long? What I'm not sure which one you're talking about. By DXY, I think we'll watch it. It could be the impulse. When it comes to the top, it will tell us. How do you differentiate corrective and that's a 6 weeks. That's a 6 weeks explanation. How do I differentiate corrective and impulsive move? About DAX, about GJ, we'll skip those. Anil, can you recall UJ? I did it. You'll have to look at the webinar. Stay out for a while on the UJ. It's not next week. I'll post if I see anything clear in it. I'll post it. You're stuck in binary trading. Can we use this info for binary? Well, I don't trade binary. I can't comment on that. I have no idea. Is oil still in indecision? No, oil I think is not in indecision. I think we're looking for a third wave or a corrective structure. I'm looking at this as the impulse up. I'm looking at the first correction, second correction, I think a third corrective structure, and then we'll be looking for upside. That's what I think will happen. Let's see if that materializes. We're still waiting for that to prove it's going to happen. We don't see that as it. And then I'll be looking for a big move up. If I'm going to forecast this, I'll be looking for a move up from somewhere from around this area here for a move up. This will give us, like, if you want to see what I mean this. When you have a big move, you have a one wave up, one wave down, one wave up, and then you get that. Follow? So I'm looking for that third wave down. This third wave down could be short, it could be long, it doesn't matter. And then we'll be looking for upside. So I think next week you can probably see oil go down. And gold, you're in gold, buy, you want to move, just move to break even and keep it. It could go up very fast, it could go up very slow, but it's going up. Right? Okay, guys, I think that's about it. We made it in 50 minutes. I think that's great. See all of you next week. Have a wonderful weekend, and you can share the Skype with your friends and join me on Facebook so that you can get the heads up. You wouldn't miss the next webinar. Okay, everybody. Thank you for coming. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful weekend.